Chomp.
Hi everybody and welcome back to Super7 Toys. Today we're going to be looking at Wave 2 Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Ultimate's Dragonzord. We've already taken a look at the gold and black Dragonzord from San Diego Comic-Con. So we're going to have a look at the regular Dragonzord today. Same packaging, green and electrified, with the gold Dragonzord logo on the front. Giant Mighty Morphin Power Rangers logo on the back. Oh, wow. I really like this Dragonzord. I liked the black and gold one, though I had some issues with the tail and wound up sending that one back for a replacement. It's kind of hiding there in this box. Now, again, I do not quite understand why Super7 decided to have such a massive package. They could have had him with his tail detached in the package, and it would have saved a lot of shipping space, but Super7, they like their fancy packaging. He's very light on the accessories, just like the black and gold was. Got his picture on the back, his bio. His bio is the same as the gold and black one, so I won't read it. Anyway, let's get this guy out of the box. Alright, that was annoying. These extra hands were so tight in that bubble, I could not get them out. It took quite a lot of force to pop the hands out of those little slots. So the Dragonzord here is pretty much the same exact figure as the gold and black version that they released for San Diego. This version has two extra accessories, which I cannot understand for the life of me why they omitted from the black and gold version. And that is his rocket firing hands. The black and gold version should have came with these. There's absolutely no reason he shouldn't have. And these are painted okay. It's supposed to look like smoke jets with fire and little rockets, but the end result looks more like cream shooting out with little pocks of lipstick stuck to them. It's not the best paint job. The hands look okay. I don't think these are done very well. You can still see some flash marks on the tips of the rockets, and they look okay. They're fine. They're fine the way they are, but they could have used a little bit of black wash on the smoke maybe to make them pop a little more. He comes with a micro Green Ranger playing his dragon dagger. He's not painted very well. They didn't finish painting his feet all the way. His visor is painted on the top of his head, and it should be painted on the front. This is a very sloppy little miniature. It's just a point where I just don't even see a reason to include certain accessories. If you're not going to do them well, don't bother doing them. He comes with the same dragon coin that came with the black and gold version. It's got the big Z on the back and the dragon logo on the front. This is nice, it's heavy, it's solid metal, but again, as nice as these medallions are, they're kind of jacking the price of these figures up when, I don't know, the quality's just not there. As I've mentioned with the Tyrannosaurus and the black and gold Zord, put this money towards making the figures better. Like, this doesn't make the figure better. It's just a nifty little gimmick accessory that I really don't need. It's going to go in a box, and I'm never going to see it again. He has two rocket-tipped hands where he's preparing to fire his rockets. Now, these look okay. And then he's got two closed fists, which I can't imagine the Dragonzord getting in fisticuffs with anybody. He doesn't really have the arms for that. So we got Dragonzord here. I don't know what's going on with my Dragonzord's eye. There's a black line in there. It's like a piece of trash that got painted over. The red is kind of overflowing on the brim of the eye. The same problem will probably occur with this Dragonzord if you pose him too much in the waist. You gotta watch these little protruding orbs on the bottom. They will strike the waistband if you try to wobble him and pose him, and they will scratch that paint off. So just be cautious of that. This one's already nicked from somewhere. Now the biggest issue I had with the black and gold was the tail, and I'm wondering if that's prevalent here. It doesn't seem to be the case. The tail on my black and gold Dragonzord, the socket was very deformed and it was not attached appropriately, so I wound up returning that one and getting a replacement. This one seems to be on there correctly. I love the paint details on the tail. He's got the green with the gold stripes down both sides of the tail, and I don't know, that green on gold contrast really looks good. In fact, the actual ball joints in the tail are a different shade of silver than the actual tail parts, so that looks good too. It kind of sets it apart. Side of his legs, he's got the dragon logo here sculpted out. It's painted gold with green. It's not perfectly clean, but it's tolerable. The same continues onto the knees. It's just like the paint is there, but it's not done well. That's all I can say, is the paint on this figure just isn't done well. It's sloppy in a lot of places. I can see weird overflow lines with the silver. I feel like the paint might be a little bit too shallow in some areas. This crotch piece looks pretty good. It's clean. The waistband is pretty clean for the most part, till you get to that seam line, which is terrible. There is still missing paint in some areas. I like this gold shoulder piece, looks pretty good. The front is painted pretty decently with the gold and green and red. It's all decent. The hands are decent. Everything's pretty mediocre though, like especially towards these cannons on the shoulders. They're real sloppy. And I see the same issue with this version of the Dragonzord that I had with the gold and black, and that is this little mushy spot right here on the mouth. I guess that's a mold defect that just got carried over into the figure, and there's just like a big chunk of flashing right there on the mouth that they paint over, and it sort of globs there. This is not exactly a $65 paint job, but it gets the job done. Now, articulation on the hem is a bit wonky. He has a lot of loose joints. Like, these legs are really loose. His torso is kind of loose. His feet are really loose. His tail is tight. Like, his arms are okay. But if we go through articulation, his mouth can open. I think that's the coolest feature. He has a waist bobble, and it bobbles a lot, so you can get a lot of those poses out of it. Just be cautious not to strike these orbs on that belt. His arms pretty much just go up and down. Of course, he has his hinged and swivel wrists. His legs are on a ball joint, so they go forward and they hinge, and there is a thigh cut there, which is actually a really decent thigh cut. You can actually get some pretty good leg rotation with that thigh cut. And his knees are hinged, but they're not going to do much. And you can see right there that there was paint stuck on those joints, so now there's paint transfer on that knee, so that looks terrible. And the knee's kind of loose too. And he's got a rocker ankle, so it rocks and hinges. And all in all, considering the bulk and robotic sculpt of this figure, he does have decent articulation. His foot just fell off. My God, Super7. Jeez. God. Can you guys make one toy that doesn't want to fall apart out of the box, like, as soon as I get it? Come on, man. Just so you know, we ordered these figures, I believe it was October of 2021. It is September 1st, as I'm recording this, of 2023. So we waited almost 2 years, and you guys can't just give us functional, decently done figures. Like, there's always an issue, and I'm so sick of it, guys. I love what Super7 offers, but what the final product is on a lot of these lines is just not good. Stop it. Like, look at this. Look at this. Dude. And that's not even his... Oh, he's just heavy. His legs are so loose that I just... Super7's good at selling stuff. They know how to tug on your heartstrings and your nostalgia strings and get you to buy their products. But their products are not good quality. And I hate to say that I'm part of the problem because I'm still buying it. You know, despite all the problems I've had with their products over the years, I've sent back so many Super7 figures because of breakage or quality control issues that it's absolutely ridiculous. And yet, I still buy them. I still pre-order them ahead of time. And I'm not always disappointed like this, but it's just way too many. It's way too many. If I pre-order a 5-figure wave of figures, I might have issues with 2 of those figures every single time. And it's just getting old. The quality is not there. Sure, this is nice quality plastic, but you're not putting it towards the articulation, the paint. The sculpts are sometimes too soft for the figures. I just don't know. I just don't know. This was one of the figures I was looking forward to the most out of this, not just this wave, but this series. And it's just some company out there can do better in every respect than Super7 has done. Every respect. We know there are companies that have and will do better. I don't know, unless you really love these characters and these figures, do not support Super7 until they fix their quality control issues. I am just so over it. It's just old to me. His tail is segmented in 5 spots with a twist at the drill, so you can get a nice curve out of his tail. Now this tail is tight. It has no issues with mobility or articulation, so I do not understand why they could not just get the figure right. Look how loose these joints are. Ugh. 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 So we're going to do a comparison. Got our black and gold and our silver and green. And okay. Complaints aside, these guys are going to look amazing on the shelf. I can nitpick and complain about quality control issues all day with Super7 every time I review something. But at the end of the day, they're going to look good on a shelf. They're going to pop on a shelf. These guys look amazing as far as the colors and the sculpt is pretty good on these guys. I'm not going to say the sculpt's bad on this figure, but they do have weak points. This is my replacement gold and black Dragonzord, as I had issues with the tail on the first one that it wasn't assembled properly. So I sent it back. They sent a refund very quickly. Despite my complaints as well, Super7's customer service is above and beyond reproach. I have never had a single issue of them refusing to exchange or refund any products I've purchased from them when I had an issue. And it's the only reason I still buy their products, because I know that at the end of the day, if I do have an issue, they will do what they can to fix it. That I appreciate more than anything, because you cannot get the same customer service from companies like Mattel, Hasbro, or NECA. You have to jump through all kinds of hoops to get anything done with any of those companies. And quite frankly, Super7 is one of the best that I've ever had to deal with in that regard. These guys look great. The contrast is amazing. If you wanted, the extra accessories are interchangeable. The gold and black did not come with the rocket hands, so if you wanted, you could put the rocket hands on him, but they are going to look funny because they aren't the same color. Now let's see how his hands swap out. I had no problem swapping out the hands on the other one, and it's the same with this. It's pretty easy. I would be cautious when swapping these hands out. Make sure you're gripping it by the hand and not by the firing rockets, or you will break these things off. They are pliable, but still, they pop in rather easily. And you can have Dragonzord firing his rockets if you want to. And that actually is a pretty cool little effect. The spray foam lipstick launchers are pretty nice. So I don't know what else to say in regards to this figure. I think he looks great. I think his articulation is very good, but he suffers with pain apps and loose joints. At the end of the day, I'm not going to be playing with these guys. It's not like I'm going to be having these guys on the floor playing Dragonzord, but they're going to look good on a shelf, and I guess that's all that matters. That is annoying though. That's not even a weight issue. That's just a loose hip issue. So you're going to have to move his tail to properly balance him in certain situations. This has been an unboxing and review of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Wave 2 Ultimates Dragonzord from Super7, and I am UR Supreme Toys. Thank you so much for watching.